This video is going to deal with using the TVM solver in our TI Inspire calculator. What we're going to do is we're going to take a situation and try to figure out different components of that situation using that TVM solver. So first, in our calculator, we're going to make a new document and just add a calculator. We're going to open up menu and then finance and then our finance solver. This right here gives us basically the exact same chart as we have here on the right side of the screen. Over here on the right, we see the definition of each of these variables that we have to input into this solver. So here our problem is Reginald wants to find the future value of an investment of $6,000 that earns 6.25% compounded quarterly for 35 years. So we have this information that we want to put into our chart here, but we're actually going to put it into the calculator. And so let's talk about that. N is the number of compound periods between the time of investment and the time of retirement. So that is 35 years, and each year there is 4 periods. So that means we need to take 35 times 4. That is the compound periods times the time of 35 years. The interest, we need to put that interest into our calculator as a percentage. Well, it's given to us at 6.25%. The present value says how much do we start with? Well, it says we invest $6,000. So that's how much we invest. The next one is payment, the amount of each regular payment. Well, in this case, there is no regular payments. The next video will deal with payments. Since there are no regular payments, the payment is 0, and we're looking for future value. Now here at the bottom of this calculator, it says press enter to calculate future value, but we're not quite done yet. The bottom 2 parts of this chart ask for the number of payments per year, which is usually the same as the number of compounding periods per year. Well, there's no payments, so that means it's going to be the same as the number of compound periods. Well, there are 4 compound periods each year. And so what we need to do is go down to the future value section of this calculator and hit enter. And here we calculate that this investment after 35 years will be equal to approximately $52,580.51. Now, if you notice, that is a negative in the calculator, and that's because the formula or the programming going into this finance solver requires either the present value to be negative or the future value to be negative. So if I want to make this become a positive number, then I need to make this negative 6,000, go back down to future value and hit enter. Notice it's the exact same value except now the negative is gone. And that's because the programming requires present value to be negative to make future value positive, or vice versa. So let's look at another example. Hilda wants to have $10,000 in 10 years after investing in an account that earns 3.6% compounded monthly. She wants to have $10,000. So that means her future value is $10,000. So back over here on the calculator, the future value is $10,000. There's no regular payment. We do not know what the present value is. The interest is 3.6. And the compound periods times the time. Well, it says compounded monthly times 10 years. So there is 120 compound periods. And then the payments per year and the compound periods per year should be 12. And because we do not know what the present value is, we need to solve for the present value. So make sure that your highlighter is on present value, and make sure at the bottom it says press enter to calculate present value. So we hit press enter, and this means that we need $6,980.52 in order to have $10,000 in 10 years. Again, it shows a negative present value. So if I want that present value to be positive, I got to change future value to be a negative. Press enter, and present value will now be positive. Let's do one more example without a payment. And let's look at Juan. Juan wants to have $1,250 in an account that earns 2.34% interest, compounded monthly. How many years will it take for the account to have a value of $5,000? So if we invest that money, that means we have a future value. Or if we invest that money, excuse me, it means we have a present value. So I'm going to make it negative 1,250, and then future value will be a positive $5,000, because we want to know how many years it will take to have in the future $5,000. The compound period is monthly, so the compound periods and payments per year, that should be a 12. The interest, however, needs to be changed to 2.34, and we do not know what N is. Since you do not know what N is, you need to solve for N. Make sure your calculator looks like mine. And then press enter to solve for N. Well, N tells you that there are 712, because we're going to round up, 712 compound periods total. Well, since that compound periods includes the monthly compounding, it doesn't tell us the years. Well, we need to now divide by 12, which will equal the number of years. So if I take, just back on my regular calculator, if we just hit escape, it'll go back to the regular calculator. And we take 712 divided by 12. Of course, it gives us a nice fraction that's been reduced. So I'm going to go to Menu, Number, Convert to Decimal. And this says it's going to take 59 years, 59.3 years. And then 3 repeats. 59.3 repeating. That's how many years it will take for this account to grow to $5,000. Guys, that's using the TVM solver, and in this video there were no payments involved.